Hey everybody out there, this is Seto, and today for you guys I'm going to be doing my Blue Eyes White Dragon deck profile for you guys. A lot of you guys have asked me for an update of this deck profile of Blue Eyes White Dragon, and over the last 2 to 3 weeks I've been working on a build, trying some new things out. The deck really hasn't changed all that much, but there are new cards in the deck, and there's new cards in the extra deck that I'm going to talk about. And it's a really fun deck to play with. But there is one thing I always say before I do a Blue Eyes White Dragon deck profile, and that is to please keep in mind what I say right here. And that is the fact of the matter that Blue Eyes White Dragon is the focal point of this deck. He is the boss monster, so to speak, of the deck. These 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons are the boss monster and main focus of the deck. So your main focus is to get Blue Eyes White Dragon out on field, or multiple Blue Eyes White Dragons out on field. Use Blue Eyes White Dragon for synchro plays, exceed plays, and just generally have a 3000 beat stick on the field and just have a bunch of good old-fashioned fun. So please keep that in mind. That's why I've built this deck the way I have. So without further ado, let us get started. So first off, we have 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons. These 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons in particular I got originally when I started the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And I got from Toys R Us over a decade ago the 3 Seto Kaiba structure decks with this Blue Eyes White Dragon artwork in them. And these were some of the original cards that I got when I started the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And I really enjoy them, and they're some of my favorite cards I have. So 3 Blue Eyes White Dragon. Next, 3 Maiden with the Eyes of Blue. Now some people just like running 2 Maiden, but I find that 3 is pretty good in the deck because it's the card along with Silver's Cry and Dragon Shrine, I guess you could say to some extent, that really makes this deck really good. So 3 Maiden with the Eyes of Blue. Next we have 2 Bright Star Dragon. Now Bright Star Dragon is a new dragon monster that I added to this deck, and I've been playing around with over the last 2 weeks about. I really like it because I was always wanting for the deck to have a beat stick, because besides Blue Eyes White Dragon you don't really have a monster that you can normal summon and beat over your opponent with, and Bright Star Dragon is that monster. So he has 1900 attack and 1000 defense, and he really works good in combination with Blue Eyes White Maiden. So if Blue Eyes White Maiden's out in the field, you can summon the Bright Star Dragon. Target when he's normal summon, you can target 1 monster on the field and increase its level by 2. So you can target Blue Eyes White Maiden. From what I understand, you can bring Blue Eyes White Dragon on the field because she has been targeted, and you can bump her level up to 3, and then you can synchro with Bright Star Dragon and Blue Eyes White Maiden for a level 7. So it's a little cool little combo play from what I understand. Next we run 2 the White Stone of Legend. White Stone of Legend is really nice in this deck. A lot of people like running 3 White Stone of Legend, but I always find that I get Blue Eyes White Dragon to my hand fairly quickly, and I only really need 2 White Stone of Legend, and it really works good in combination with Dragon Shrine, which I'll talk about later with White Stone of Legend and Blue Eyes White Dragon, but I'll talk more about that in the future. So White Stone of Legend I really like in this deck as a 2-of, because I always seem to get Blue Eyes White Dragon to the hand, and if I don't have it already in the hand, it just becomes like a level 1 tuner that's just sitting in my hand. So next I run 2 Heretic Dragon of Tefnuit. Heretic Dragon of Tefnuit is your synchro player maker, I guess you could say. When your opponent has a monster and you don't, you go special summon Dragon Tefnuit. You can normal summon White Stone of Legend, make a Black Rose, blow up the field, get a Blue Eyes White Dragon to your hand, activate a trade-in, draw 2 cards, and set up your plays. So it's really nice. You can also make Leo with him fairly easy because you can go Heretic Dragon of Tefnuit, special summon, normal summon Delta Flyer, activate Delta Flyer's effect, make it level 8. Then Delta Flyer has 3 levels of his own, so that's a 10. That's an instant Leo. So I really like Heretic Dragon of Tefnuit a lot. Next we have, 2 Delta Flyer. Delta Flyer is one of your main tuners of the deck. I gotta say, along with White Stone of the White Stone of Legend and Delta Flyer, those are your main tuners you'll be making with. You will use Blue Eyes White Maiden sometimes, but Delta Flyer and White Stone of Legend are your 2 main ones. This card helps you go for a whole bunch of different synchro plays, and I really like it in the deck because it just helps you make bigger synchro monsters. Next we have the one obligatory, I guess you could say, Red MD Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. I wish this was more, you know, this card was at 2 or 3 because, you know, it'd be really nice to run it in a Blue Eyes deck, but alas, I understand why it's only at 1 because it's an amazing card, but it's really good in this deck. Helps you bring out Blue Eyes White Dragon, helps you make combo plays. Depending upon your hand, if you go Heretic Dragon of Tefnowitz and then you bring Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon out, there are some really cool plays you can make right on that first turn sometimes, so 1 red MD. Next, as one of, we run 1 Honest because this is mostly a light-based deck, as well as 1 Shining Angel. Some people do not like running Shining Angel. I understand it's not the best of cards, but in more casual settings, I guess you could say, it's pretty decent because you can bring out a White Stone of Legend so you can make a synchro play, or you could bring out, the main card which you bring out is Blue Eyes White Maiden. Bring Blue Eyes White Maiden out onto the field, and then if you have a 1/1 in hand, because I do run 1/1, you can activate 1/1, get a Blue Eyes White Dragon on the field, and draw 2 cards. And you're thinning out your deck as you go. So I do like 1 Shining Angel to bring out your Blue Eyes White Maiden, and sometimes White Stone of Legend. But in Honest, it's just a light-based deck. So that's why we run that. Next, I run 3 Silver's Cry. Some people do not like running Silver's Cry as a 3 of because they believe it gets very cloggy, they don't like it, but the one thing I would like you to keep in mind is Silver's Cry is a quick play spell. So you can easily set your Silver's Cry face down if you have 2 of them. And then on the end of your opponent's turn, if you have a Blue Eyes White Maiden, a Blue Eyes White Dragon in the graveyard, you can go chain to end phase, bring back a Blue Eyes White Dragon. If you have another one in grave, on your turn you can activate another Silver's Cry, get Blue Eyes White Maiden out, Blue Eyes White Dragon out from the graveyard, and there you've used 2 Silver's Cry. So it's Monster Reborn for Blue Eyes White Dragon, which I really like, but I do like it as a 3 of because it's very easy to get Blue Eyes White Dragon to the graveyard in this deck and set up for your Silver's Cry. So that's why I like running 3 of that. Next, I run 3 Trade-in and 3 Dragon Shrine. 2 Dragon Shrine. Let me explain something right here about the trade-in. Why I run 3 trade-in even though I have only 3 targets, Blue Eyes White Dragon. Even though I run 3 trade-ins for 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons, I did try out this, when I was rebuilding this deck, I guess you could say, I did try out other level 8s that I could use for trade-in. But the problem with those were, it just added to more inconsistency of the deck. It was adding inconsistencies to the deck just so you can activate trade-ins. I did not like that. Now, you can take 1 trade-in out if you really want to, but trade-in works very well with Dragon Shrine, and that's why I run it as a 3 of. And trade-in's really not that bad of a card, because you don't want your Blue Eyes White Dragon in your hand. I can't emphasize that enough. You want your Blue Eyes White Dragon to be in the graveyard, so you can set up for your Soul Charge, your Call the Haunted, your Silver's Cry, you know, set up for your combo plays. You don't want your Blue Eyes White Dragon in hand. You want it in graveyard. And if you draw a Blue Eyes White Dragon when you're drawing your cards, that's technically a dead draw unless you have a trade-in, because of the fact that it's just, you can't do nothing with it in your hand. You don't want Kyberman, you don't want things like that. But that's why I like that. But the little combo you can do with Dragon Shrine is you can go activate Dragon Shrine, pitch your Blue Eyes White Dragon to the graveyard. Then because you sent a normal monster to the graveyard, you can send another dragon monster. So you can send a White Stone of Legend to the graveyard, get a Blue Eyes White Dragon from the deck to your hand because of White Stone of Legend was sent to the graveyard. And because of that, you can get the Blue Eyes White Dragon to your hand, and you can activate a trade-in if you have a trade-in in your hand. So you pitch your Blue Eyes White Dragon to the graveyard with trade-in, and because of that reason, you've now thinned your deck out considerably of dead draws, and you've drawn into your deck a lot more. So that's why I like 2 Dragon Shrine and 3 Trade-in. If you want to drop a Trade-in, be my guest, but it really hasn't hurt me a lot just running it at 3, even though I only have 3 targets. Next, we run 2 1/1. 1/1 works with Blue Eyes White Maiden. Blue Eyes White Maiden is really nice in the deck, but the problem I find with Blue Eyes White Maiden is you always are not going to be able to target her. So what I mean by that is your opponent, sometimes if they're going to attack your Blue Eyes White Maiden, they're going to have an out to your Blue Eyes White Maiden. So they're going to have some way of getting around it. They're not going to just blatantly attack a Blue Eyes White Maiden to get a Blue Eyes White Dragon out on the field. you know, unless they have a way around it. And so that's why I find sometimes it's good to just activate a 1-to-1, get your blue eyes out in the field on your turn so you can do combo plays and draw 2 cards. I really like 1-to-1. You have 3 targets for 1-to-1 because you have your 3 blue eyes white maidens, and it works very well in the deck. I find it adds more speed to the deck. It means blue eyes white dragon can come out of the deck a lot bit faster. You can make synchro plays, and I just like 1-to-1 in general in the deck. Some people don't like it. I like it. I'm fine with it. Next, we run 2 Forbidden Lance to protect your big boss monsters like Leo and other things when they come out of the deck. So you protect your blue eyes white dragons and other boss monsters. Next, we run 1 Heretic Seal of the Confiscation. This is your searcher. You have 2 targets because you have your 2 Heretic Dragon of Tefnuit, excuse me, and you can easily search it out and make synchro plays. You know, it's never really a dead draw. I find it just adds more consistency to the deck, so you can get to your Tefnuits faster to make big synchro plays. 1 1-for-1, 1 Regeki, 1 Soul Charge, 1 Book of Moon. So Soul Charge, I do not lie, if you have a trade-in and a Dragon Shrine in your opening hand, you can do some wonky plays with this deck. I mean, some crazy plays if you have Soul Charge, trade-in, and Dragon Shrine, because you can dump 2 blue eyes white dragons to the graveyard, a tuner, and you can pay 3,000 life points to make an Azure Eyes, you know, bring the 2 blue eyes white dragons back and a white Stone of Legend. And then you can synchro up for Azure Eyes and have a blue eyes white dragon on the field, and it's just the craziness. And it's the one reason I really like Soul Charge in this deck is for the fact that I have sometimes, if I want to be very bold, if my opponent really has no back row, I'll go Soul Charge, pay 3,000, bring 3 blue eyes white dragons back to the field, and just attack for game. It's really a fun experience. Regeki, so you can clear the board. 1-for-1, so you can bring out things like Maiden with the Eyes of Blue, as well as White Stone of Legend, just that faster, and Book of Moon, just a good generic card that I like. Lastly, we have 2 Fiendish Chains. I like Fiendish Chain over Breakthrough Skill in this deck, so you can stop monster effects like 101 and Kestel just that easily. If you want to run Breakthrough Skill, be my guest, but I just still like Fiendish Chain in this deck because sometimes, you know, you don't want them to attack your maiden if you know they have an out to it. Next, we have 1 Call of the Haunted. I just like it as a 1-of, just that easy. You know, you can just that quickly bring out Blue Eyes White Dragon. If I haven't mentioned it already, this deck is at 40. Then we have 1 Bottomless Trap Hole, 1 Torrential Tribune, and 1 Compulsory Evacuation Device. No Solemn Warning in this deck, even though if you want to, you can easily replace the Call of the Haunted for Solemn Warning, because I do find with this deck a lot that you're going to be taking a lot of hits because you're running Blue Eyes White Dragon. And you're running, you know, your main boss monster is a 3,000 vanilla monster. Even in today's game, even though Blue Eyes White Dragon is amazing, it can be a hindrance and you're going to take attacks. So I run Soul Charge because it can set up the combo plays, but after that, you don't want to waste your life points too frivolously. Next, we run 1 Divine Dragon of Felgrant for your extra deck, 1 number 107 Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Dragon, 1 Heretic Sun Dragon Overlord of Heliopolis. These are your main rank 8 Exceed plays you'll go for. Usually you'll go for Felgrant most of the time. Sometimes you'll go for 107 Tachyon Dragon. And if you're trying to get around a certain card, you'll go for Overlord of the Heliopolis. So those are your main ones. For your Synchro monsters, we don't run no other Exceed monsters because of the fact that you can make Slacker Magician and things like that. But you very rarely will go into those. So next we want 1 Armadeides Keeper of the Boundaries for your rank 5 synchro play. You sometimes do go into rank 5s, but that is very, very, very rarely, I would say that. Like 1 in every 3, 4, 5 duels will you ever do that. For your rank 7s, which is one of the main things you go into a lot, Black Rose Dragon, so you can nuke the field. Ancient Sacred Wyvern, very good card. Ancient Fairy Dragon, and Scrap Archfiend, just as a 2,700 just vanilla beat stick just to beat over your opponent. Those are your main cards that you go for a lot for your rank 7s. For your big monsters, we run 1 Star Eater. You usually make Star Eater in every other duel at least one time. It's very, very good. Next we run 2 Leo, the Keeper of the Sacred Trees. We actually run 2 of those because a lot of times I find that you will usually go between 1 and 2 Leo in a duel. You sometimes make 1 or 2 Leos in a single duel. So I like running 2 of those and 1 Star Eater. Next we run our 2, I guess you could say our boss synchro monster, and that is 2 Azure Eyes the Silver Dragon. I love this card. This card is just really nice. It's really good. And lastly, for our rank 8s, which sometimes you go into, we have 1 Stardust Spark Dragon, because you can use Stardust Spark Dragon, target your maiden, get a Blue Eyes White Dragon out of the field, and protect your maiden. It's a little cool combo play. Then we run 1 Hot Red Dragon Archfiend, because he's just a pretty dang good card in his own right. So guys, I hope you all enjoyed this Blue Eyes White Dragon deck profile. I really had fun doing it. I hope you understood everything. Do keep in mind, like I said at the beginning of this video, the main focus of this deck is Blue Eyes White Dragon. He is the boss monster of the deck. But till next time guys, take care, have fun dueling, good luck dueling, and I'll see you all next time. Seto Kaba, I'm out of here guys. Take care everybody, and good luck dueling to you.